Misaka, which I'm unfamiliar with. Misaka, I don't know nothing about him. But Killua is, hunter native. You know what I mean? He's a assassin, grew up in a family of assassins, lightning fast, super strength to an extent, you know what I'm saying? Has a very high pain threshold, just due to how he was trained. I'm guessing Misaka is along those same type of lines. You never know. Well, I guess some of y'all know, but I don't know as far as what his capabilities are. I know Killua he got thunder powers or like lightning powers throughout Hunter x Hunter, and he was super fast and super deadly, you know what I'm saying, due to those assassin lessons he received early. So we're just gonna jump on into this, man. I don't know who to pick. I'm gonna have to hear the rundown on the adversary, but like and subscribe, man. If you are here chilling with us, man, we're just gonna run over this death battle. We've done these before, so kind of know how it goes. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna have to go back and kind of check my record out. I'm gonna start keeping a record counter in this thing, just to I don't know, for the books, right? All right. Without further ado, let's get it.
Killua Zoldyck, Hunter x Hunter's prodigious lightning assassin.
Misaka Mikoto, Academy City's ace electric princess.
Question: what is more terrifying than the all-powerful crackling might of lightning?
Lightning in the hands of cocky, hyper-talented teenagers. The worst combination. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. The Zoldicks, a vicious family of assassins known the world over. So infamous for their killing techniques, a single photo of any member sells for millions.
You don't want to be the target of their next family outing. But like all families, there's bound to be a rebel.
As was the case with the middle child, Killua.
They seriously named him Kill? Hardcore.
Well, it might be a pun on the term kilowatt, but kill is apt, given he's been trained in past tensing people since he was 3.
I'll say, at age 14, he was strong enough to open a 64-ton door. Geez, what kind of workout did his family put him through? Somehow, it gave him 6 skater skills, extendable claws, and rhythm echo, a technique that lets him fool people's senses with just his feet.
More accurately, by manipulating the cadence of his footsteps, Killua can create an auditory illusion, capable of tricking even extrasensory abilities.
Killua was a heck of a prodigy, but despite being able to effortlessly rip out hearts, his family still thought he wasn't cold-blooded enough.
Fed up, he ran away. Not to the circus, but to the Hunter Association, an association of people who hunt stuff. There, he tested himself in the Hunter's exam and inevitably had gone head over heels for his new friend, Gon. Get it?
Oh, God, Wiz, are you still taking those waste-of-time improv classes?
Yes, and I think it's going pretty well.
Mm-hmm. Killua's family didn't like him making friends, so they sat him down and then calmly and politely tortured him mercilessly as punishment. It was only thanks to Gon that Killua finally convinced his old man to let him go out on adventures with his buddies.
But this change of heart was no act of compassion. Killua's father saw his freedom as just another step in molding him into a better killer. And in some ways, he was right. Through his adventures, Killua learned Nen, an invisible life force that...
Yeah, it's key. It's always key.
Actually, this one's a bit more complicated. You see, Nen is utilized through 4 main principles. 10 for containing your aura while defending from physical and mental attacks, Zetsu for relieving fatigue and masking your presence, Ren for bolstering strength and influencing emotions,
That's pretty standard so far,
and Hatsu, the unique way in which one's Nen is expressed. This comes in many forms, but all fall into one of 6 types, which
I want to just hit quick on this type of system. This type of system amongst anime and I guess comic book lore, or just pop culture in general. Just when you get this deep, I think this is where you start to like grown men or boys to men, right? This is boys to men right here. Like some people you just lose with this type of stuff because there's so much to keep up with, and I guess that's a good and a bad thing. I think it's personally a good thing. I think depth in the story is exactly what you want to represent when you're telling a great tale, and when you add this type of stuff, enhancers, transmuters, conjurer, emitter, manipulator, specialist, like there's just so much to keep up with, not only just in the context itself as just what it is, or this as they have it a diagram, not only these types of categories, but also when you're talking about other stories even prior to this. Thor, I think, was one of the better uses. Really early in the Thor comics, his hammer wasn't just call and go in. You know what I'm saying? He would like tap it on stuff, and however many times he tapped it would cause a different effect. And it's just interesting amongst storytellers because, again, I think a lot of writers lose track of what they've come up with, and it's interesting to me, I guess, because you do so much of that, and it can be really good, or just it can just be really sloppy. You know what I mean? And I guess Hunter x Hunter and even Thor did it in ways to where it added a complexity, but at the same time it was interesting enough to where you accepted the complexity. So just something I wanted to hit on, because I always think this is so interesting when they talk about different types of nin, as they call it in Hunter x Hunter. But let's continue with the death battle, man.
Which represent how proficient a Nen user is at certain techniques.
So, it's an RPG class system?
More like a hybrid class system, because most users actually fall somewhere between two categories, giving them differing degrees of proficiency. Techniques from these Nen categories can even be further enhanced by adding rules to their use. Oh, then there are the advanced principles, which...
Oh god, okay, I get it.
But we haven't...
And this is what I'm saying. As they're explaining it, they're already hitting you with the fact that, yeah, man, this is it's pretty dense as to how much you need to know just from character to character. Which again, it's complex, but if you got to do a little bit of work in your mental state to even accept it, right? So as stories progress, you have two options. You can jump in and really understand, and that's honestly going to make the story that much better, because again, you'll have sub conversations of who can combat who, and whose weaknesses offset people's strengths, and things of that nature, right? And yeah, I think as they're being kind of facetious with this tale of animation amongst this death battle, it hits me just the same as I was explaining. Just yeah, it's interesting, man. There's so much that can go into things like that. Like, man.
We haven't even talked about Killua's Hatsu yet. Killua is a transmuter enhancer, i.e. he specializes in transmuting his aura into different forms and enhancing the power of himself and others. He uses his aura to...
He makes lightning!
Yes. In Killua's hand, lightning becomes a deadly weapon that he can fire down as a bolt, channel through his arms, or send through metal objects.
Like his super alloy yo-yos. These bad boys weigh up to 50 kilograms. See, that's how you make a pun, Wiz. Packing enough force to shatter trees like I just shattered Wiz's confidence.
Add in Killua's lightning and he can electrify anyone who touches them.
And this isn't some magic-y schmagic-y lightning. His bolts have been identified as the real deal more than once.
Meaning Killua is certainly as fast as actual lightning, especially when he uses it on himself to bust out Godspeed, a form that greatly amplifies his agility and power, letting him bypass his synapses to reflexively react to threats.
For regular folk, that much voltage would be too much. But thanks to Killua's training, he can shrug off over 1,000,000 volts of electricity.
He's also exceptionally crafty. In a Nen fight, every move matters, and strategy almost always triumphs, even against greater strength.
Killua used these powers to battle world-renowned thieves, bomber mercenaries, and ants.
That may not sound like much, but these Chimera ants were brutal, murdering and eating people by the hundreds of thousands, then threatening billions. Reminds me of an old experiment. Gone horribly wrong.
Killua understandably wanted to bail, but Gon pulled him back in, much to his frustration.
Killua wanted to be there for Gon emotionally, but could not comprehend why he was risking so much against the Chimera ants, going as far as becoming a monster.
In other words, Killua was crushing really hard, but didn't know what to do about Gon's simple-minded impulsiveness. It didn't end well for anyone.
It wasn't all doom and gloom, though. Killua held his own against some of the Chimera ants' best, surviving this forest-consuming blast from one of their captains.
Which, judging by its size, was worth several kilotons.
And he later injured a top-ranking royal guard, Yuppie.
Sure, he ran for the hills the moment Godspeed wore off, and isn't as strong as the weird horseman, but even just damaging someone who can make a crater like this is nothing to sniff at.
But amidst all the fighting, Killua still could not get his family out of his mind. Literally.
As in, his brother, Illumi, put a needle in his head, forcing him to be controlled by self-preservation, ensuring he'd always run when victory isn't guaranteed. Wiz, you think you can call CPS for that?
Thankfully, after some much-needed self-surgery and self-reflection, Killua removed it, overcoming his mental barrier and ready to risk his life for those he cherishes.
Which he did when he finally got his himself and his dear sister Alluka away from their demented family. He even brought Gon back from the brink of his creepy Nen coma.
But despite how valuable Gon was as a friend, Killua realized his unhealthy dependence on him.
So he decided to travel with and protect Alluka, finally realizing what he wants to do for the rest of his life. Oh god, the tearful romantic parting!
Still, if Gon or Alluka ever need help, Killua is sure to come running.
Ready to Killua anyone dumb enough to mess with him or those he cares about.
This episode is sponsored by Academy City, a sprawling metropolis filled with schools where espers train to master their supernatural abilities.
Most of these youngins dream of rivaling the best espers, but only a few are hardworking and smart enough to do it.
Among them being Tokiwadai Middle School's Level 5 Electro Master, Misaka Mikoto.
Level 5? So she's a Pokemon, but an anime girl.
Each Esper's power and utility is ranked, with level 5 being the highest they can normally achieve.
And after working up to that level, Misaka became unstoppable. She can magnetize herself to metal, electrically enhance her physique, sense her surroundings through an electromagnetic radar, and generate billions of volts.
In addition, she can make iron sand from disparate particles in the air to form tornadoes, body decoys, or a sword that vibrates at rapid speeds for enhanced cutting power.
Just what an anime girl needs, a chainsaw. Man, if she gets serious, Misaka can even make a friggin' 6 million ton kaiju out of it.
With such tremendous power, Misaka put an end to many crimes, earning fear among criminals, admiration among her peers, and lots of personal pride in her abilities. There was nothing she couldn't overcome.
Nothing except the bane of all tsunderes, a frizzy-haired, dumbass anime protagonist.
Enter Kamijo Toma, a level 0 nobody who Misaka could not harm, no matter how many times she tried.
Oh, I hate you, but I secretly love you, and it'll work out in the end. Shut up! But she'd have more than a dork like Toma to worry about. As amazing as Academy City is, it's more corrupt than New York real estate. Years ago, Misaka gave some shady scientists a sample of her DNA, being promised it'd help cure tons of fatal diseases.
Instead, they made tens of thousands of clones of her, sending them all to be slaughtered one by one.
Specifically against another level 5 and A-tier edgelord named Accelerator. By farming all these clones, they hoped he would finally get enough EXP to become a mythic level 6. Is that seriously all it takes? How does this Esper stuff work?
Glad you asked. Espers represent the scientific side of the world, a side I'm oh so familiar with. All Espers possess an involuntary movement or AIM diffusion field that manifests their power, letting them consciously alter reality.
Changing reality with your mind. Isn't that just magic?
Au contraire, Boomstick, it's quite scientific. Look at Misaka's signature move, the Railgun. Many real-life railguns use a set of parallel conductors to generate Lorentz force. By envisioning imaginary rails between herself and her target, Misaka can create a similar yet greater effect, accelerating the speed and kinetic force of a projectile, usually a coin, into a concussive bullet. It's beautiful. It's science.
How long are you gonna be nerding out over this?
Come on, this is like my one thing. Where was I? Oh yeah, thousands of dead clones. Traumatized by the endless slaughter, Misaka felt enormous guilt. You see it all the time with horrific experiments.
Sure, buddy.
She worked for days to end the clone project, but concluded it would have to end with her sacrifice.
But Toma butted in, giving Misaka the support she needed in her darkest hour, while also punching out albino Magneto with his Esper-proof fist.
Misaka had shouldered her burden for so long that she forgot how to rely on others. This wake-up call from her newfound crush was exactly what she needed.
But even with Accelerator decelerated, Misaka kept fighting Academy City's underbelly, all to protect her friends and free her sister clones she befriended. She dealt with a lot of trouble on the way, but had the power to do it.
In her battle with a killer cyborg lady, Misaka conjured a city-spanning storm, which, by measuring the size of the cloud relative to the city, would require over 58 kilotons of energy to make.
Kilowatts. She's also fought other level 5s, not just Accelerator. She got into a middle school beef with a snobby telepath, fought this explosive weirdo, and dodged particle beams from an unhinged Karen.
The electrons of which can accelerate to high relativistic speeds.
It's no shock. Misaka's reactions are that fast, given her lightning has been stated to be light speed on 5 different occasions.
More than just her powers, though, Misaka's greatest asset is her intellect.
It might not look it, but high-level espers constantly perform tons of nerd math just to make their powers work.
And understanding other powers has been just as vital to Misaka's survival. Take her bout with the magic Valkyrie, Brunhild.
Remember when Wiz said espers were the science side of the world? Well, these weirdos are packing the magic. A single mistake from Misaka could have meant death, but she still stalemated Brunhild.
Now, Brunhild was still stronger and faster, but it is impressive Misaka was able to harm a saint, who are normally only deployed against foes capable of leveling mountains. One such foe, Hell, froze 100 kilometers of ocean.
You'd think this means Misaka can take on all sorts of magical baddies. But alas, the power creep says otherwise.
He's actually serious. When you're dealing with crazy magicians and magic gods, even a level 5 Esper struggles to keep up. Misaka valued her abilities so highly that she struggled to maintain her self-esteem when they weren't enough.
A shame Misaka cares so much about getting stronger when Toma appreciates her as a person first and foremost.
While certainly a flaw, that ever-persistent hard-headedness will also keep Misaka around, no matter the stakes.
So watch out, because this pint-sized 14-year-old is quite literally a walking railgun.
Alright, so kind of in reference to my previous commentary, you see how much is going into just making this battle, like the science in the head as she's trying to control her powers. You got all these different classes. We had some subnotes in there that I think might be vital to this. Apparently she can't go into her final form without possibly dying, so it just takes so much out of her that, you know, it's not sustainable. Kind of like a Godspeed, I guess, but Killua doesn't die. He just reverts back to a weaker version of himself. So this is an interesting battle. I feel they're going to run with Misaka on this one. She's going at light speed, you know, but that being said, she's using lightning. They're both using lightning. Killua can absorb her lightning, I guess. What's he going to do with the... Can he react to the quarter or whatever, the coin, if she does a railgun? I'm running with Killua. Killua! Running with Killua. Fuck it. I'm on some fucking shit with this one. Let's get it, Hunter x Hunter. Gonna have to go rewatch that. It made me want to watch it, watching this. I might check... I ain't gonna check out Misaka, but, you know, it looked interesting enough, I guess.
This episode is sponsored by... Alright, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
Hey, that's mine! I've been looking for it all day. Give it here.
You want it? Come and get it. Coins, huh? I had a butler who used these.
Focus. It's a trick of sound, not sight. Gotcha! He's good at hand-to-hand. Better keep my distance.
She has stronger lightning. Gotta get in close.
No problem. No time to break. Now's my chance.
You don't know when to quit. Together with electromagnetism, meaning it can be disrupted! Wait a minute.
Distance, 35 meters. Altitude, 45, 40, now.
Played myself, but it's all good. You know, she had a lot of text going on. I didn't feel like reading it all, so I felt that tilted it in her favor. But I'm just a Hunter x Hunter guy, and I gotta put that home team spirit in there. You know what I'm saying? So Killua got X'd off by Misaka. I guess we'll go ahead and wrap it up and see the explanation.
The angle, the electromagnetism, the science. It's...
All right, take a breather there, champ.
Whew. While Killua's assassin training made him a vicious threat, Misaka's abilities and know-how gave her the counter she needed in this mind-numbing battle of wits.
Killua could survive kilowatt-ton level blasts, and given some leeway, could scale to Yuppie, whose crater feat was worth 18 megatons of TNT.
Impressive, but the storm Misaka created beat anything Killua has done directly. And given similar scaling to Brunhild, who Misaka not only harmed but stalemated, her output could reach hundreds of megatons of TNT. Meaning, no matter which numbers are used, Misaka would always have the advantage in raw electrical power.
No surprise there. Killua may have shrugged off 1,000,000 volts of electricity, but Misaka can dish out and survive billions.
Still, both characters have contended with and harmed stronger opponents, and the two power systems they work under have allowed weaker opponents to defeat stronger ones in the past.
So, might alone wouldn't net either a win. Plus, Killua was way better at hand-to-hand and physically stronger.
Knowing his crafty assassin skills, things could have gone south for Misaka if she wasn't careful.
But fortunately for the railgun, she was. Her fight with Brunhild shows she knows how to deal with tough, up-close threats while keeping her distance.
And being able to dodge particle beams meant Misaka was more than fast enough to react to even Killua's lightning-quick speed.
Add to that her bigger pool of powers, and she had plenty of ways to counter Rhythm Echo, since Killua's lightning, or just pin him in place long enough to pull off her railgun.
Gotta check these out, y'all. This is just for me right quick. All right.
Finisher. Killua was strong, but he wasn't gonna outmuscle 6 million tons of iron sand.
Killua was a prodigy in all things Nen, lightning, and killing, but Misaka's varied electro powers, quick reflexes, and scientific brilliance let her cash in a win.
But hey, at least she let Killua keep the change. She Killua'd him!
The winner is Misaka Mikoto.
Yeah, man. So that's it, yo. That's it. My record has worsened. when I put it in this corner, I want to say I'm like 3-3 or something like that. You know what I mean? I'm not perfect out here, and you know, I let things like me being a fan of the show get in the way sometimes. But you know, Killua, you know, I ain't never watched the other show. I'm sure they got this thing right. There's always a dispute with these types of death battles and things like that. You know what I mean? But you know, fun to converse about, talk about, all the same, right? So I'm not gonna spend too much time in here. We pretty much got the rundown. There's so much science amongst both of those characters. I just wanted to come in here, you know, have a fun time. I hadn't seen this one yet. I knew it was new. So I figured we come in here, chop it up. Let me know what you thought of the death battle. Have they done Gone yet? Gone versus anyone? I'd like to see Gone in a death battle. And apparently there's that Spawn Venom death battle coming soon. So we'll definitely check that one, as I'm a big fan of Venom. Not as big a fan of Spawn, but I appreciate, you know, I guess his creation. So, you know, great IPs battling each other. Venom is again one of my favorites, so definitely want to see, as far as his skill set, where it's gotten, because they've done so much with Venom throughout the comics, even in the past 10 years, that it's hard to say what all he can even do. And then Spawn, he's been going even longer than that. Well, I don't know if he's been longer than Venom. Spawn is probably post Venom, I would say, right? I'll have to check that out. But anyway, we're going to get out of here, y'all. This is D's World. I appreciate y'all coming through. Click like, subscribe, man. We're going to come back for more. Again, I'm going to get back to the music. I'm going to get back to a whole bunch of other things out here. We just, you know, got to roll with the punches sometimes. I got so many things. I tell y'all all the time, I'm juggling. And just trying to keep them all moving is a task in itself. But where I can make time to get in here and chop it up with y'all, I'm going to do that. So I appreciate y'all coming through. Comment on the videos. Yeah, all that. Stay to the end of the video. Check out what I got tagged at the end of that. And until next time, keep God close. This is your host, Drew.
Yo, you check this out?